I had to get my final Diet Coke of the day. I'm kind of crying. Do you want to quickly break down Indypride's army for us?
Okay, let's take a look now. Something could be hidden in a forest, but his middle seemed to be consisting of mix of Galatian Royal Guards. Wait a second. 2 of them on the left flank, then Royal Peltasts, then Royal Thorax Swordsman. Interesting unit, I will talk about it later. And 2 more Galatian Royal Guards on the right flank. Then he have 2 African War Elephants, and 4 Ptolemaic Cavalry. Interesting fact, Russian Prince used upgraded Ptolemaic Cavalry against me because Companion Cavalry is stronger on vanilla state. So if you want to win a cavalry fight, you need 1 or 2 upgrades on Ptolemaic Cav. Now, back to this Royal Thorax Swordsman, which is general for Indypride. The problem with them, if you compare them to Galatian Royal Guard, is the fact that they have formational attack trait, which seem to be limiting unit performance a little bit. Because they hold their formation, they're not fighting as effectively as units that blob up for some reason. We don't know exactly why.
I think that is something that will probably be fixed at some point in the near future, I'm sure.
It did have, it's actually changed, like between patch and 3 and 4, it's a huge difference, but it's still underperforming. And I believe Indypride doing some positional mistake right now. Why is he getting out of the forest when Pointman is the one to have slingers? I'm not sure.
I've got a feeling that he's probably aware that that isn't probably not his entire army, and that he wants to stay as far away from where he could have hidden troops.
With elephants, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 6. Yeah, maybe 2 more units could be hidden in the forest yet.
I mean, would you like to break down what makes Total War very different to like a standard RTS?
Oh well. First of all, obviously, when you come to these battles, there is no economy per se. You come with a build, and this might be one of the problems, something that always haunted Total War series when we tried to make it a bit more competitive. When you come to a field, there is no adjustment you can make. So if there is some imbalances in a game and you pick the wrong build, sometimes you have no chances of comeback if enemy plays properly. It addressed by, like, for example, in this case, I think it's very good for Rome 2, the fact that all factions a bit limited. I believe Egypt is something that's very bad for a game because you don't know what to expect from Egypt, what it will bring. That's why it's like you have no info on what your opponent bringing, and you can't make educated choice. It's a problem. But the cool thing about is amount of variety on how positioning matters, timing matters, formation matter. Now you have bracing bonus. It's just nothing remotely similar exists in a gaming industry, I believe. Maybe war game, but it's modern warfare. So it's something I completely fell in love with. I actually started playing the game when I found Sun Tzu Art of War lying around when I moved to a new apartment. I did read it, and I just wanted something to look at, because reading, it's a bit too abstract, a bit too generalized, the book.
Baz, obviously the Art of War is important, but we're going to get the first engagement of the game as the companion cavalry charge headlong into the Ptolemaic cavalry. Who does this engagement favour? I mean, even more cavalry coming over from the Macedonian left flank. It looks like Indypride might find himself completely outnumbered here.
But actually, Indypride's cavalry got much better initial charge. He's winning against this companion cavalry. One is already wavering. But now Pointman's Sarissa cavalry coming from behind is going to be rear-charging this Ptolemaic cav. Will it be enough for him to win?
Is it too late for them now? Is the damage already been done off that charge from the Ptolemaic cavalry?
It could be because of elephants. But Pointman isn't using trample on his Sarissa, which is actually quite important. I think he still have slight chance. If he can, Galatials will not get into cavalry fight. So Pointman have chance, but mistake could be these slingers probably should target cavalry right now. Not infantry.
Slingers look like they're trying to target either the elephants or the infantry, and a lot of these infantry have already took quite a few casualties on the way in. This is also where Indypride's general is in with the 4-axe swordsman, and a lot of the infantry is starting to get caught up in this pike battle in the centre, while the cavalry rages over on that side, and it looks like the pikemen are having the best of it as well. The Royal Pelters are not having a good day, but they are disengaging over the Galalic Royal Guard are disengaging from that fight with the companions.
I think Pointman is a good shape actually. Cavalry fight going much even than it was before. Oh, but one thing that could change it is this Galatian Royal Guard that got around into cavalry fight. So infantry support for Indypride there. But look,
Pointman's general is in the fight, but a lot of his other units are starting to break over in the cavalry engagement. A lot of the pikemen are either being kited or too busy trying to fight, but Pointman, Indypride's general is fighting head-on with foot companions in a pike.
I don't know. I even so Pointman losing cavalry fight decisively, I still think I know what will happen. He will create a spear box right now. It's inevitable. He have no other options. So he will be protecting his slingers with pikes. And look at the problem with Galatians Royal Guards. They have no discipline trait, which means when General of Indypride died, it just routed.
Yeah, Indypride General just went out of the fight. He's routing now.
Yeah. So now these Galatials got huge morale penalty for not having General in fight. Because they are not disciplined.
But Pointman even managed to get his General. Will he survive? It looks like he's going to get chased down here, but it would be crucial if he can get his General out of this fight and survive. That would be really big.
I think he's getting out. Surprising.
I think that is going to leave it in a position where Pointman is in a commanding lead right now.
Tough to say.
Skirmishes and a lot of pikemen still left, and his General.
We will see. He doesn't have enough for box. Indypride still can, if he spreads his infantry, because Pointman have no cavalry to punish him. So if infantry just attacks from 4 different sides, but he needs to calm down right now. He needs to pull back, stay outside of Slinger's range, completely surround, and then attack. And try to sneak cavalry and kill Slingers. That's his only chance, in my opinion. Not to go frontally, not to stay in range. Just to play it slow. Because he's clearly at disadvantage.
So, both armies, after their initial engagement, are backing off, reforming, which is something that very much happened in ancient warfare. There was generally a decisive battle either on the left or right. One flank would always generally be the stronger, so they would destroy the other. Then both armies would end up reforming, and both armies' right flanks would then engage again. So this is a... I quite like how history repeats itself even in a video game.
Yes. Well, that's probably the only way to win. You need to create a breakpoint somehow. Because in the end, you have same amount of funds to spend. Obviously, there is some imbalances and stuff, but generally you have same opportunities. It's not like you have a huge advantage from the start. And while we have this slowdown, I want to apologize for streaming if I sound overly confident sometimes. Honestly, all my judgments are opinions. People always say me how why are you so sure? I'm not sure, guys. It's just I sound so because we don't have time to go into all details.
Never apologize for having an opinion. Do not worry.
Yeah, but sometimes it's good to make people know that I know how I sound. It's just it's difficult to correct when you're casting a game. I cannot tell, in my opinion, all the time. So anyway, as predicted, some appearance of Spearbox already in
Yeah, you
place.
said he didn't have enough units to do a spear box, and this definitely to me seems like a spear box.
Yeah, but there is one catch in patch 4. It's actually since patch 3, bracing mechanic did change. Before it was really didn't matter. You can spread your pike as much as you want and it would be the same. But now, difference in bracing bonus between pikes in 2 ranks and 4 ranks is huge. If pike is in 2 ranks, sometimes you can even break it with cavalry from the front. So Pointman taking a huge risk right now. I'm not sure if Indypride have enough to break, but if pikes spread so much, they could be broken fairly easily.
Just resuming to the Macedonian pike box. Did you see the elephants earlier before as one of them got picked off as it was running by?
One elephant died in a cavalry fight.
Oh no, it got hit by the archers on the way, by the slingers. Poor elephant.
Ah, the ones that died. Yeah, probably. And Indypride, clearly, as I said, this is unnecessary losses he's taking right now. He should not get into range until he knows how he's going to attack.
And he's already lost 1 unit for that mistake.
Yeah, well, he's going to
lose a second here. As they're on their death charge in here.
And his infantry is too far away right now.
But 1 unit might actually get through.
Yeah,
straight into the pikes.
But no follow-up. You see? Infantry too far away. No follow-up. Imagine if right now, maybe elephants will turn it. Because this pike had to turn around, and if this pike would be hidden from a back at this moment, it would have been a chance for Indypride. But now it's turning around.
But there are pikes not playing any effect. If you look at the bottom bed, they've just started to react now. But cavalry have got through and they're cutting down the Rhodian slingers. In Invitational Royal Guard as they come in on the side of the foot companions of Pointman. And 1 unit...
And look! They're losing attack orders. You see 3 pikes on staying there. I guarantee you they had attack order. Man.
Looks like Pointman's general is out of the fight as well, and other units are starting to break. Is Indypride going to be able to get this victory here?
No, it's still even.
Elephants are still in the fight. There are 4 elephants still fight. Well, 2 elephants. It just says 4 to confuse me. 1's down. The pikemen finally take down one of the elephants. This one is exhausted. The fight's still going on, but the pikes are starting to have their presence felt now.
Oh man, these 2 cavalry units will make or break this game for Indypride now. Did he get a charge bonus? No, they actually stabilized. The heck? Why? I think it's because they're killing.
Because they're killing. That one elephant is running amok now. It is away. But yeah, that's 1 unit now of a Royal Guard. Of the Royal Guard are breaking. But also, no! The foot companions look like they're about to break and then they don't. Meanwhile, another Royal Guard is broken. Pointman looks like he's finally going to be able to get his win.
Yep. There is a thing in this game. You don't only get moral penalties, you get moral bonuses. So if you keep killing, or if units around you do good, winning the fight, your friends, you're getting morale boosts for that. So it can stabilize wavering units sometimes.
That's brilliant. The morale aspect makes Total War such an interesting game.
Absolutely deep,
Take the morale. It literally would just be like, yeah, I don't really care about anything. But as soon as morale's involved, even your most elite units suddenly become frail at times. There's 1 unit of Royal Galatians. It's still chewing through the foot companions here. They do not care about how bad some of their armies are going. They're still fighting. But it's just the weight of pikes now just seem to be too strong.
Oh, yeah.
And there you go. It's only 3 units left on the field now for Indypride. And the cavalry here charging right in the back of the pikemen.
Man, that's interesting how long, in fact, it takes like these Galatian gods fighting with pikes frontally, but
And
they
another
taking
unit is coming in. They didn't retreat, they're still here. But they paid the price for that charge sideway into the pikes. These Galatians just do not want to quit, but it might look like it's about time that they start to run.
Yeah.
Indypride
26
trying
man.
hard here, but he is going... Oh, his cavalry thought they were about to charge in the rear and then they decided not to. And that is GG as Pointman takes the first game.
GG.
Wow. I think this is one of the longest battles we've had today, and definitely one of the longest of the tournaments, and it was not boring at all.
Absolutely. Very close game, and Pointman brought what, like, without a doubt, could be called very balanced build. Skirmishes, infantry, cavalry, like, I don't know, you can't go more balanced, and he showed the power of balanced build. How you combine tools to take an advantage. And this time his tools were the slingers. Even so he lost cavalry fight, he managed to use his slingers to force Indypride to attack his pikes head on.
Yes, that was pretty much the critical part, is none of the Galatians or any of his units could really get to the rear of those phalanx units at all. It was constantly a straight into the pike battle. He had no choice, really. I mean, I'm just looking at it, pretty much all of the units on Pointman's side contributed somewhat, except for maybe a handful of the cavalry, but everyone contributed. Well, if you look over to Indypride's, a lot of his units really just didn't make much of an impact, considering their cost.
Yes. Well, the game was decided in that late game battle somehow, because I can't even judge it on all stages, because I usually getting this cavalry. Maybe if Indypride, after starting that cavalry fight, maybe if he didn't invest in infantry fight and just waited for cavalry fight to end, maybe then he would have gotten more tools to finish, to wrap it up. But he had a separate cavalry fight, which he won, but barely. He had a separate infantry fight where he lost couple of units for nothing. Initially, there were such a moment in a game. Maybe he could have been more efficient. I'm not sure if I could have done better on his place, honestly. Because it was going so good at the beginning, maybe he thought he can win cavalry fight fast and just follow up nicely.
It looked like the cavalry engagement went on longer than he really expected. And I think another critical thing was Pointman's general did not die in that cavalry engage. He was at one point completely surrounded on all sides, yet still managed to educate himself from that battle, leading to like supporting obviously a lot of his units, and became one of the units that Indypride had to tie down. Instead of going for the rear of a lot of the pikemen or finishing off the skirmishes, he had to finish off Pointman's general, who was still alive.
Yes. Well, still a point to make. In this regard, Macedon is interesting faction. If you look at its unit, pretty much all of them have all higher tier units, especially foot companions, have discipline threat. So losing a general not such a big deal for them compared to Egyptian Galatian roll guards. But there is something I'm not sure about mechanic in this case. How it was in Shogun 2, when you lose general, you have a huge penalty for a bit, like for a certain period of time. But if you wait long enough, like you can drag battle for 3, 4, 5 more minutes, you're good. Maybe in Rome 2 it's the same, because these Galatials in the end, they stayed very long. Surprisingly long.